A beautiful unboxing experience won't save a frustrating checkout. The psychology behind that is older than most of your competitors, and it explains why the most funded part of your customer experience is often the least important one. Hi, I'm Conor Brady, and I run the Growth Ops partnership here at Ecommerce, which is built specifically to take responsibility of the middle of the funnel performance for brands doing 3 million plus per year. If that sounds like you, or you're struggling to get there, I hope this video helps you in some way. So let's get into it. I've met with founders who run brands doing 4.5 million per year, $42,000 a month going into Meta, and 40,000 sessions hitting the site every 30 days. But the checkout completion rate is sitting at around 1.4%. And here's the interesting part. They're also shipping every order with a handwritten card and a free gift. Their instinct is to lean harder into post-purchase, new thank you cards, a free gift, and a discount code for the next order. And their assumption was reasonable. If they delight people once they have a product, the lifetime value math will start to work more in their favor, right? The answer isn't as straightforward as you might think. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you why this strategy almost never works and what to do instead. Investing in post-purchase to fix flat checkout completion is treating the wrong part of the journey. The buyer isn't bouncing because they aren't excited enough. They're bouncing because something inside the funnel is creating a sharp negative emotion right before they hit the buy button. And until you fix that moment, the rest of the experience doesn't get a chance to count. This isn't a marketing problem, it's a memory problem. And there's psychology research from the 90s that explains exactly what's happening. In 1993, Daniel Kahneman ran this experiment where he had participants hold their hands in painfully cold water for 60 seconds. Then a second trial with the same temperature, same amount of time, plus 30 extra seconds where the water was raised by a single degree. It was still cold, still uncomfortable, just slightly less uncomfortable. Then he asked, which trial would you prefer to repeat? The surprising part is that the vast majority of them chose the longer, more uncomfortable one. This is what's called the peak end rule. Kahneman and his collaborator Barbara found that when people evaluate an experience, they don't average out every moment. They remember the most emotionally intense moment, i.e. the peak, and how it ended, which is the end. Everything else gets compressed, and this mental mechanism is what makes this theory work. The memory isn't a recording, it's a reconstruction from two anchors, and if either anchor is bad, the entire experience is remembered as bad, no matter how nice the middle was. Now, let's apply this to your funnel. Your beautiful unboxing is the end, and it's a very strong one, but if checkout is the peak and it's negative, the unboxing does not save the memory. The buyer remembers the shipping fee shock, then the box arriving, and the brain averages those two out. For most Shopify brands doing 3 million plus, the negative peak hides in the final 10 clicks. So let's run through some common examples. First is shipping fees that only appear at the final checkout screen, inflating the order total in essentially just one click. Next, we've got discount code fields that are visible but don't auto-apply after signing up, prompting the question, am I being charged more than someone who has a code? Or forced account creation blocking guest checkout. This adds a registration form between buying intent and order completion. Or mandatory phone fields with no clear explanation, raising the question of whether the brand is about to start texting them shit they aren't interested in. All four are anxiety peaks at the final stage of a customer journey. So they're not motivation or value problems. The buyer wanted the product enough to add it to their cart, but what broke them was the final stretch of their journey, and the brain is designed to remember the worst moment of the worst stretch. Two examples from recent audits we've run. The first one is of a premium home goods store doing about 3 million a year, 60,000 a month on ads, sessions slightly north of 70,000 per month. The cart to checkout rate was 28%, and the checkout completion was around 38%. We watched a bunch of mobile session recordings, and the pattern showed up pretty quickly. The discount code field was visible at the cart level, but the brand's email coupon wasn't auto-applying it. Buyers were opening their email mid-session, finding the code, copying it, pasting it, and in roughly 4 out of 10 recordings, the code didn't work because it had expired for whatever reason. So 4 out of 10 buyers experienced a negative peak right at the moment where they were driven enough to return after checking their email. The fix was removing the visible coupon field at cart, applying codes automatically on form submit, and recovered around 11% of the drop-off. The second one is of a really beautiful clothing brand doing about 7 million per year. They sent custom thank you cards in every box and checkout completion was around 41%. We took a closer look and found that the peak was the shipping fee. It was $14 to ship a $60 order for some customers, and it only appeared on the final checkout screen. In this case, the fix wasn't even free shipping because just surfacing the shipping cost earlier on the PDP and in the cart drawer removed that surprise entirely. And as a result, the checkout completion went up roughly 9%. So stop asking how to make your brand more memorable. Start asking where your buyer's emotional low point is, because that's the moment they're going to remember, and it's almost always closer to the buy button than founders expect. Premium packaging is a strong end experience, but the end gets compressed if the peak is bad. Once you know where the peak is, you know where the budget goes. So here's what to do if your checkout completion is an issue. Number 1, map your funnel as a 5-stage customer journey. Ad click, product page, cart, checkout, and post-purchase. Under each stage, mark the buyer's emotional intensity. For example, high, medium, or low, or simply positive or negative, whatever you prefer. Spend an hour or two with 20 to 30 mobile session recordings. You can use Microsoft Clarity or Hotjar's free tier. Both give you what you need for free, and then rate each stage honestly. The peak is the most emotionally intense moment in either direction, and the end is the last stage of the journey with any sort of interaction. Watch out for unusual behavior patterns that might hint towards frustration. If 15 session recordings don't surface a clear peak, watch your post-purchase email sequence next. The end of the experience isn't always at the checkout button. Sometimes it's the shipping confirmation that never arrives or the support email that gets ignored. In a nutshell, the unboxing is the last bonus in the journey to solidify customer satisfaction. The checkout is the last gate. The gate gets fixed first, and then the bonus second. If you found this useful, the full journey mapping template is in this week's Growth Ops newsletter. The link's in the description. And if you found this video thought-provoking, like and subscribe so we can reach more brands with these sorts of issues. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you next week.